Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Round 3 for this evening of whirlwind filming craziness. Unboxing time. Small one, that's okay. I've got another package coming in tomorrow and another package coming in the day after. If those come in on time, well, we'll have more unboxing to do. But for this evening, we've got some Amazonian fun and eBay goodness for y'all. And these have been sitting here for a little while, maybe a week. I don't remember what's in them. That's always a fun surprise. We're going to start with the first being an eBay purchase. And we're going to hopefully get this out. I slid it, but... Oh, no. Sorry, my bad. It's all Amazonian. This is a movie I don't know if I've ever seen the entirety of. It took me a long time to figure out the title of it, and I actually was always confusing it with Steven Spielberg's 1941. Knowing that wasn't right, but every time the title would come up, I kept thinking that was what it was. And there'll be a reason you'll see shortly. Wow, this dates back to 1971. I did not realize it was nearly that old. I remember catching part of this as a older child, young teenager, maybe. But I don't think I ever saw the whole thing, but the story kind of captivated me. And once I clicked into what the actual title was, I went looking for it, found it, and I bought it. Hopefully it'll stop doing that once the packaging is unwrapped. The two sides are clipping against each other. This is Summer of 42. And not 1941. But hopefully that'll make sense why I was unable to get the title straight in my head, having only seen part or most of this film once as a kid, and just knowing that there was a year of World War II-ness in the title. Yeah, it's a intriguing, like, coming of age kind of story during the era of the war, and I remember parts of it being funny, parts of it being tragic, parts of it being touching, and that's really as far as I can recall. So it'll probably be almost like watching it again for the first time, not knowing exactly how much is stuck in some dumb brain. Okay. Kind of a thickish envelope, so we have a few titles in here. Let's find out what they'll be. 4K! Parquet? 4K. No slip cover. That's okay. It happens. Eddie Murphy classic. Toyed around with whether or not I wanted to upgrade this or not, but I ultimately pulled the trigger because I got a good price. Coming to America. Ladies and gentlemen. Wipers! So many quotable lines. Sexual chocolate! I love Coming to America. It is great. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, all the side cast. It is just phenomenally funny for me. I've loved this movie since I first saw it when it was relatively new. It came out in 88, so I saw it either 88 or 89. That's why I didn't originally upgrade this. When this came out on 4K, I only had one setup, and this did not come with a Blu-ray copy. So instead, I think I bought the Blu-ray. Now I have a 4K setup for both my TVs in my living room and my bedroom. I'm more flexible in that regard now. As before, I didn't want to restrict myself as far as where I could watch my movies. As you all know, I like to take something to watch to fall asleep to. If I started buying a bunch of 4Ks that didn't have any Blu-ray copies, got rid of my DVDs, or if I had one, I was kind of cutting myself short, where it's like, oh, okay, these movies I have to watch in the living room, and then these ones I can watch either or. First world problems, maybe. Collector's issues, you guys understand. I'm sure you do. Okay, next up. Complete and total blind buy here. But given my forays and explorations of older cinema that I've been undertaking lately, and I stumbled across this either on Groove or Amazon first. I think it was Groove. Been watching them both, and they're going on like this pricing war lately. But I decided that this was going to be a great opportunity for Legendary Brothers. 5 newly restored classic comedies, although I think this set is a couple of years old. It just finally presented itself to me within the last, 2 months or so. But I just feel like any serious film connoisseur probably needs to be acquainted with stuff like this. And this is the Marx Brothers Silver Screen Collection. So I know very little about the Marx Brothers. I know that they were very big in their day. That they were, I think, renowned comedic geniuses. Again, I don't know a whole lot here. Going in blind entirely. Titles include the Coconuts, Animal Crackers, Monkey Business, Horse Feathers, and Duck Soup. So I got this at a great price. Hopefully the transfers look good. The still images on the back, of course, look pretty solid, so that's a good sign. I'm not going to read any kind of synopsis. There's a sticker in the way anyway. What I'm curious about, what I'm looking for here, and not seeing, I'm just curious of the time frame in which these films were produced. 20s, 30s, 40s, are they talkies, are they silent? I don't know. Classic, vintage, historical Hollywood comedies. When did this come from, people? When were the Marx Brothers, when were they a thing? Blind Buy, yay. This movie I missed in the theater. I intended to see it, and it's a Blu-ray, and it has a slipcover. This is a foreign film. I saw the trailer for it. It looked touching. It's a romantic drama rather. From 2023 it was produced, but this thing was in the theater last year. And it is called Past Lives. And from what I understand, it's about 2 people who once had some kind of romantic attachment to one another, and years later, they run into each other. And I guess we find out what ensues. Do they still have it? Do they still want it? Are they in relationships now? I don't know if that's being covered, but Past Lives. I got it now. Last one. No more Mohicans. Blu-ray slipcover. This might be a little bit controversial. Not just the movie, because the movie actually was, but my purchase. I'm just going to get right into it right off. This is Civil War. I have very mixed feelings about this film. I didn't love it, but I appreciated certain aspects of it, but I didn't respect it. And the reason I didn't respect it is because a film about this particular subject matter, particularly for 2024 when it was filmed, to work needed to have a position on something. It needed to make a choice, stick to it, and weave a story around it. It did not. You want to put America in a civil war with alliances that don't make any sense, i.e. California and Texas joining forces in an alliance in a civil war, doesn't seem very plausible in modern day. So you have the alliances that don't make any sense. You have a civil war that has no narrative foundation. Don't know why we're fighting, what we're fighting about. And we're just going to throw some reporters on the ground and have them work their way through the tragedy, the action. Nothing. I don't think anything's actually filmed in New York in this. So maybe the very beginning takes place in New York. It's a great cover, though. I don't feel this film has anything to say, whether from the filmmaker's perspective or as a social commentary. Dismissed it by this much. The other controversy as a collector is that this is a Blu-ray. It's not a 4K. Both were produced. Why then did I opt for the Blu-ray and not the 4K? That is a decision that I think I'm now making for myself almost consistently from here forward regarding new releases. I am falling out of love with the 4K format. Its fragility, its instability. There's a lot of games and manipulations the studios are playing using the format. From Steelbook exclusives to staggered Blu-ray / 4K releases. You never know what's coming or when. They're duping people into like, hey, we're only going to release a Blu-ray, here you go. And then people buy the Blu-ray because they think that's the only thing that's going to be available. And then 6 months later, boom, hey, guess what? We're going to put out a 4K of it. Okay, well, I already bought this. I'm not double dipping. Then there's the whole Steelbook exclusive. Well, if you want a 4K, you're going to have to spend the extra money for the Steelbook because it's the only edition we're going to put into 4K. Well, guess what? Back to Blu-ray, excuse me. And then there's the whole, everybody takes a different side on this, whether your 4K is going to include a Blu-ray or not. I covered that with Coming to America. When I first adopted the 4K format, I was buying 4Ks before I had a 4K player or 4K TV. Why? Because the 4Ks I were buying came with a Blu-ray. I could still watch the film, but I was future-proofing my library with releases as I would buy them. Great plan. Then I get my first 4K player, and then later get a 4K TV. Cool, I'm ready to go. And then more releases come that I'm interested in. It's like all of a sudden, boom, 4K only. No Blu-ray copy. Some people say that's okay. Some people say I need it. When Blu-ray was first introduced, a lot of Blu-rays included a DVD copy. Why? Because Blu-ray was an expensive format, and people that owned a Blu-ray player and an appropriate television probably only had one setup, like now. They might have it in whatever their main TV viewing room is. Cool, but guess what? There are other TVs in your home. Those probably just had DVD players. So again, you're going to restrict yourself. Also stated as a reason for that is SUVs, minivans, things like that came with TVs to entertain the children on road trips. Those TVs came with DVD players, not Blu-ray players. So guess what? You're going to buy the latest Rodent House release. You're going to buy Aladdin. You're going to buy whatever. And you're going to take a road trip and you want to entertain the children. Well, they love Aladdin. They want to watch Aladdin. Well, we just bought the Blu-ray and, oh, sorry, doesn't come with a DVD. Well, that's why they came with the DVD. As that format progressed, as it became more affordable, more popular, and more players were readily available, the studios scaled back and almost eliminated the DVD inclusions. Why they still do it at this point, almost 20 years into the format, I couldn't tell you. The same is true with 4K. Most people that own 4K, that have a setup, only have one. My second setup is just a player. I don't have a second 4K TV. I don't feel I need one. 35 or 32 inch is the smallest 4K TV you can buy, to my knowledge. My bedroom TV is a 21 inch. I don't want anything larger than that in my bedroom. 4K player with my 1080p LED 21 inch TV suits my needs for something to watch in bed to fall asleep to just fine. But again, one player in the house. Nobody's got them in their cars. I don't think you'd necessarily want to be watching a 4K in your car Why? Because of how unstable the format already is. Prone to scratching, prone to skips, prone to freezes. Do you really want to put such a fragile format in a vibrational setting? I shudder to think. So a lot of people rebel against 4K releases that don't come with a Blu-ray. I can understand that. I still feel leery. I like to take my movies to friends and girlfriends' homes when I'm in a relationship and share movies, if I might have it. I don't know a single person in my life personally, IRL, that does anything with 4K at all. Most are DVD or maybe Blu-ray. So if I want to take and share a movie, well, I'm not like, okay, well, if I don't have something less than a 4K version of it, I can't. So, all right, you got to come over here to watch. I'm not exactly set up for company lately, as you can see. It's a bit of a problem. So, guess what? If I want to go over to a friend's house and take my copy of Coming to America, because I already own the Blu-ray of this, so I'm covered, technically speaking. So it puts me in a position where I feel obligated to keep that Blu-ray. But I got a cabinet that's full of those disc binder things that I have to keep storing this redundant catalog of Blu-ray discs. In some cases, a DVD. Like my Days of Thunder, right? About the 4K of Days of Thunder, I think. Yeah, I had the DVD about the 4K. 4K didn't come with a Blu-ray. So now I have to hold on to the DVD because, just in case such a circumstance arises. Newer movies seem to benefit the least from 4K. The way they're filmed, the way they're edited, the difference between Blu-ray and 4K overall in clarity isn't as significant as the difference between DVD and Blu-ray. That's a fact. You can put a brand new release out on both formats and the differences are going to be very slim, presuming the transfer and everything else is on par with each other. I think at this point I'd rather not deal with the added headaches of the fragility and instability, while at the same time saving a little bit of money. There will always be exceptions. Nosferatu, I think I'm going to buy that on 4K when the price comes down and I get to add it to my library. Going back, if I had to do it all over again, Top Gun Maverick is a movie I'd like to probably only own on 4K. Older releases, however, that can most benefit from a 4K upgrade, particularly something that is a brand new release that's maybe never even seen Blu-ray, I'm all on board going 4K on those and taking the chance on the issues, because those was such a leap forward in quality from what we got that I absolutely want to take advantage of that leap. So my 4K purchasing, like for the future, 99% of it will be dedicated to older films that are getting an upgrade release instead of the new films. I think maybe there are a few exceptions for exceptional visuals, or if there just happens to be some random sale or something that the 4K price is just considerably less than the Blu-ray price, I might jump on that. But other than that, expect from here on out in my unboxings, new releases are predominantly going to be Blu-rays only. That's going to be my choice, and that's what I'm going to do. So we all collect how we want to collect, and that is my choice. That's it. We're done. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. That word box, fill it up with what you watched, what you want to watch, your comments, your suggestions, your criticisms. Shut up, some guy, you talk too much, you talk too long, you ramble, yeah. And me. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in whatever my next video is going to be. Probably another unboxing. Okay? Good night.